Well, he's got a long red to go at, but it's not easy to get the cue ball back to baulk. Well, he took the risk, and as you can see, the black didn't go to the left corner, and that's an early chance for Mark Allen. He had to pot this to get the cue ball to the other side of the black.
1. Eight.
I think Mark Williams made a good point in that video that we saw of him just before we started, when he said you mustn't think about winning or losing, just concentrate on the game.
9.
Because if the players were to look at and see who they got the next round and the semi-finals and the final, it would be a mountain. Just going to put all your concentration into this match.
16.
The match that you're playing.
17.
Played that perfectly.
I guess the key, Joe, is to try and play every frame as if the scoreline didn't matter, or as if you didn't know what the scoreline was.
Yeah, and it's so difficult to do that, isn't it? You know, like that last frame, for example, Mark Allen will have thought that he'd won that, and then when he sees the red stay on the lip of the pocket, he knows that his opponent's got half a chance, especially when he sees where the blue is next to the pink. And it's hard to recover sometimes. I mean, it's just the first frame, so he won't place too much importance on it. But you can imagine what it would be like if it was the third to the last frame, for example. How do you try and put that out of your mind? But you're right, David, that's what you've got to do. Play each frame as that frame throws itself upon you.
Yes, and also it's the first thing that's gone wrong in the match. It only takes a couple more things to go wrong, and all of a sudden his mind is in a completely
24.
different place to how he started. He's getting a few kicks with this black, I think. Just getting it clean there, but we've had a couple.
25.
Well, he made that one look easy as well, but that was such a tight angle to play the red in at that speed.
$30.
I really do admire this young man, though. He's got such a good mental attitude. Won lots of tournaments before he turned professional.
31.
So certainly knows how to win. And it's just a matter of time.
He's not happy, is he, with the contacts he's getting? Colin Humphries pressed into action again, but it's obviously a bit late to clean that red now. But this is where he's got to just try and keep focused. If he starts looking for things to go wrong, they will.
Yes, again, that's what I'm saying, though. Look at the shot that he's played there after getting such a bad contact on the red. He finished in no man's land, and although he was disappointed, he played a really good shot there to get back into the reds.
36.
Great frame of mind, this young man. And as he's already proved in his earlier matches, He doesn't know when he's
43.
lost. He fights to the bitter end.
44.
Well, the best decision he ever made was when he was 9-6 down to Matthew Stevens, because he admitted afterwards that he was going to come out and just smash the pack off the break-off. He'd had enough, but he just stopped himself. And now here he is in the quarter-finals.
On his final backswing, he said. On his
51.
final backswing, he changed his mind.
Thankfully, the angel took over from the devil on his shoulder at that point.
$52.
Yes, you're right, Joe. He won everything he could as an amateur, including the World Amateur title, the European, all the Northern Ireland titles in the various age groups.
Yes, he's not scared of winning, and that's a big plus
59.
because there's so many players that get to the point of winning, and then there's a fear of winning and there's a fear of losing, and some players are like that. Held them back in their careers. I'm sure I had a little bit of that. But this young man doesn't. And when he wins his first ranking event, he's still got reds here, but he wanted to come back for the black. But I would suggest going up for the blue here, coming back down to the reds. If he plays the red into the middle, that's missable. That's the one that takes him to the black, but this is the hardest red to play.
Mark Allen, 59.
Can't agree with his choice of shot. Yeah, it's great if it goes in. But the red to the left corner was practically unmissable. And this is what we were saying earlier on, David, that if Mark Williams can steal this one in some way, then it does start to affect you a little. Lost the first when he needed a snooker. He's looking at the possible plant into the middle. And if he could pinch this one, then it can hurt. You can just see the possibility of the plant to the middle. Oh, what a shot. What a great shot.
This is where he's so dangerous, Williams. Just knock them in from anywhere.
And the reason why he's gone for it is he knows the importance of hurting his opponent at this visit. Perfect.
4.
I think Williams is such a tough player to play against because he ambles around the table as if he's in the local club on a Sunday afternoon, but he's so competitive inside. And he understands the psychology of snooker really well.
12.
Yeah, he's such a cool customer. And he's back to his best.
13.
Now he's got this chance. He's
20.
39 points behind. He'll be disappointed now if he doesn't win from here.
21.
When he takes this red. That clears the way for the other two into the right corner.
27. 28. Three. 34.
Well, he's another.
Yes.
40.
There's so much to admire about all the players that's left in.
41.
And as I said, really admire Mark Allen's attitude to the game. But this guy, well, if you're watching him playing, he just tickles the ball ever so gently. Although he tickled it a bit far that time.
46.
Too much tickling, Mark.
48.
Yes, he floats them in, doesn't he?
And absolutely beautiful to watch.
51.
Well, this would be a second psychological blow early in the match. Won the first on a respot after needing a snooker. Mark Allen went for a tricky red to the middle on 59 here. And Mark Williams potted a terrific red to get in. And he's setting about the clearance here.
60. 66.
And he's made this look so easy, but it certainly wasn't. Oh, it's a great clearance, that is. Cool as you like from Mark Williams. You'd have thought that meant nothing, but he knew how important it was at this stage of the match. So Mark Williams leads Mark Allen 2-0.
The pyramids are still standing, yet history is still being made. Egypt, where it all begins.
Can you check the time, battery level and network connection on your mobile display? But this looks really boring. Just subscribe and get the amazing battery-based wallpaper as your screensaver and refresh your display in a sec. It shows you the date, the time and your battery level. Just send Euro14 to 33333 now.
Well, Mark Allen could be 2-0 up, but he's 2-0 down. He lost the first on a respotted black, the second on the black itself. This was the red Joe he went for. You advised against it at the time.
Well, it's so easy to advise against it, isn't it? It was perfect on the black if it goes in, and everything's all right. But at that stage, he was 59 points in front. If he goes for the easier red into the left corner, goes up for the blue, I just didn't see how anything could go wrong there. He gave it chance to happen, and it happened.
73 clearance from Williams was excellent, and he's 2-0 up. And what Williams is so good at is getting in the first place. That red he potted was brilliant.
Yeah, and as I said, I think the reason that he went for it in such a way is that he knew how his opponent would feel had he got it and cleared up, and that's exactly what he did.
Well, it's also 2-0 to Judd Trump on the other side. It's Trump against Graham Dott there. That's live on Eurosport 2 right now.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about there. That particular shot from Mark Allen hasn't reached the baulk line. He's fortunate to have hampered Mark Williams over the yellow. But the point being that the cue ball is nowhere near the baulk cushion. Well, was it a big kick then?
Yes.
Seemed to bounce. Can you clean all the balls, he says. Well, it might take a while. I think that was a kick.
Yes, and again he's left Mark Allen in very early in the frame. But there's nothing you can do when this happens.
One.
And that's just what he needed. Could have been 3-0 down there from that poor safety.
Six. Seven. $14. 15.
Well, we've been here before, haven't we? Mark Allen in first. But he knows this time, and there's a little bit of pressure on his shoulders. He's got to try and kill it off, otherwise
21.
Williams will be back once again.
22.
Well, he's got the perfect angle, nice angle to go into them. And had he not lost the first
29.
2 frames, I think that's what he would have been doing.
$30.
He's underhit that one. And this now becomes a difficult pot to the baulk corner.
37.
Well, he may have got a kick, which took the pace out of the cue ball.
$37. Mark Allen.
No, as he left the one to the baulk corner. I just think he missed his chance a couple of shots ago when he had the perfect position to go into them. And he's going to need to go into them at some time to win the frame at this visit. And when there's a couple of reds loose, there's every chance of finish on one of the reds. Well, didn't see a kick there, but well, again, that was a tough shot to play going into the reds. It was a very thin blue. Look how thin that blue was. Needed to hit the pink full. Well, I think it's worth taking this cut on to the left corner. He'd be on the green. He's overcut it.
Mark Williams. 6.
That could have been a very unfortunate kiss for Mark Allen. He's got a good cue ball, which makes the pot tough. The problem with taking the red on is that because he can't get any stun or screw into the cue ball, that cue ball's going to be going into the pack of reds. Can't drop it in because the black doesn't go. What a great pot. But it was always going to be going there, the white ball. I was probably hoping for a thinner contact. And not easy. If you can't hit the pink, it's not easy to hit a colour. Obviously the black's easy to hit, but he can't go for that one. Great pot. And it's a good job it went in. The two reds by the black cushion are spoiling the way to the green. That's the easiest ball
Yellow ball.
to play for.
Look at this, holding the rest in the air.
Foul, miss. Mark Allen 4.
Well, we haven't seen that one before, have we? Well, we have, but very, very rare. And I think the only guy that does it is Mark Williams.
Well, here we go
Yellow
again.
ball.
My word, you need a steady hand for this.
Foul, miss. Mark Allen 4.
You won't be too bothered about the fours that he's giving away. Doesn't want to leave a free ball. And that's rather close.
Just asking Colin Humphries to check, which is fair enough.
Yes, it's a big decision, this one. We've already seen one of the referees this week change his mind. Aaron Williams, I think it was. Mark of a good referee.
It's a free ball. Yes, it's a free ball.
Well, he's saying it is a free ball. But Mark Allen still wants him to check again.
Well, Mark Williams is saying he doesn't think it is. Well, looking at that, it looks like it is.
Free ball.
So he
Free
takes the
ball's
right
called.
red away.
Yeah, free ball called.
So he can take the brown as a red.
Brown ball.
There was a world final here between Stephen Hendry and Jimmy White where Hendry was awarded a free ball and he said to the referee, I don't think it is, can you check? And the referee checked and changed his mind. Incredible sportsmanship.
Yes, and you don't forget about things like that, do you? I mean, you recalling that from memory, that those are big decisions that you never forget. Great sporting moments. And meant such a lot to both players. It was a world final.
Colin Humphries there was the referee in the middle in this one. And Allen was perfectly entitled to ask.
13. $14.
Now it looks like being the key to him winning the frame.
$21. $22.
Well, black and one more red to put the frame safe, but of course we saw what happened in the first frame, so he needs to really make sure this time.
$29.
Well, I thought he was going to play the difficult red in the middle then.
$36. $37. $43. $44.
Well, this will make Mark Allen feel a little bit better. It could have been 3-0 up, but at least he's won his first frame.
51. 52.
Certainly doesn't hang around, does he, when he gets in?
Must be something about them
7.
Irishmen.
58.
Higgins, Alex Higgins that is. He brought the new game, fast game, to the fore.
64.
Look at this young man go.
66.
Yes, he wasn't alive when
69.
Alex Higgins won his 2 world titles. He wasn't alive when Dennis Taylor won in 1985, but he represents the best hope Northern Ireland's had
73.
since to land a world title here at the Crucible. They call him the Pistol,
78.
and he's beginning to fire.
Mark
78
Allen,
from Mark
78.
Allen from that free ball. Mark Williams landed himself in trouble when he potted that red, didn't get on a colour, left the free ball. Mark Allen's made 78. The Northern Irishman feeling a little happier now because he's reduced Williams' lead. He's got his first frame on the board. Williams now leads 2-1. On the other table, it's 2-0 to Judd Trump, but he's behind in frame 3. That's live on Eurosport 2. These are long matches again, 3 sessions. These two come back tonight, and they conclude the match tomorrow morning. So they'll be back on in the morning to conclude. 13 frames needed. John Higgins and Ronnie O'Sullivan will be, whoever comes to that one will be their opponent in the semi-finals. The other quarter-final starting this afternoon, Ding Junhui against Mark Selby. So it's a great lineup wherever you look. Let's have a look at the other table, shall we? Just show you what's happening. There we are, Graham Dott and Judd Trump. 2-0 to Trump, as I said. 3 reds on in this frame, 29 points in it. Graham Dott the man ahead, but he's left a red on. And we know what a talent Judd Trump is. Beat Martin Gould in the last round, Neil Robertson in the first round. Of course, he's the China Open champion. Playing the snooker of his life, feeling great, just enjoying every minute of it. 21 years of age, and that makes him so dangerous. We'll just stay with this between frames while we wait for Mark Williams to return. It is, as I say, though, live on Eurosport 2 if you do want to watch it. Graham Dott, former champion, 2006. He was in the final last year. He's been in 3 finals, but he's up against someone fully confident. That's a nice little double kiss.
4.
So Judd Trump with a chance now to win this frame. You wouldn't want to play him, would you, Joe, at this stage?
Well, he's just flying, isn't it? And you can imagine how he's feeling in the top 16 for the first time. He's been trying for 4 or 5 years. He's finally made it.
OK, so it's 2-0 there, but Mark Williams back,
Mark Allen
and we
to
can
break.
continue our match. It's 2-1. Last frame before the interval, Mark Allen to break, having just won the third. It's been interesting so far, hasn't it? Every frame there's been something happening.